guys and welcome to Faewood. I thought I would share another haul with you guys. I just finished off my fairy wings project, which you guys have seen by now, and my studio was a mess. So usually between massive projects like that I like to do a bit of a clean, although I will say there is glitter all over my carpet right now. I'm not upset about that. I know my husband is when he walked in and got it all over his socks. Whoops. It's part of the tradition of staying in Faewood is glitter will be involved in some way. What do they call it? The herpes of the craft world. Anyway, I thought while I'm doing a bit of a clean, I had a bit of a collection of things that I've been storing to put away into my studio and also to share with you guys. It was my birthday recently, as I mentioned in a live stream, I think. And so some of this is from birthday gifts and some of it is treating myself to birthday gifts. So it's a little bit of a collection of things. Lately I've just been really going ham with a lot of different craft materials and things that I've wanted to use. I don't know, I've been sort of delving into different areas, and I think I've been starting to sort of find some solace in creating again. It comes and goes with everything that's going on in the world at the moment. Sometimes I feel solace in, you know, that escapism that comes from being creative, and then sometimes I don't have the headspace for it. But when I do have the headspace, it's been a great escape for me. So with that being said, I've bought a lot of stuff to fulfill that little escape for myself, and I've got like 3 little boxes of things right here. So yes, I've got 3 little boxes here, not so little. One from Spotlight, as you can see, with also some other things that I bought that I've just shoved in the top there. And then just some other random bits and pieces. I've got one from Craft Online. I got some things. Again, some of it's birthday and some of it's stuff that I bought for myself. So I'm just gonna dig in because like I've got a lot of random stuff to share. I'll start with, there was a Lynn Craft order that I put through. And I think I may have even mentioned having put a Lincraft order through in a live stream, but I was waiting on it to arrive, so I didn't have it to share with you guys. There's been some sales.
And I might have spent some money on those sales.
And I don't know if it's sort of a thing that I'm like, I'll get it now while I can, just in case my life falls apart or the world falls apart. I don't know what it is, or it's just solace in retail therapy or whatever, but I'm getting sucked into all of the sales. So there was like 30% off, I think, at Lincraft at one stage, and I got a bunch of different patterns that I thought I may end up finding use for in the future. So this one's a really good accessories pattern. Like, it's got bags, a couple of you know, belt things, arm braces, and yeah, just thought like that's stuff that would fit into a lot of different costumes, so it could be really helpful. So I got that one. I got this cape thing here, so you know, it's always handy to have a cape with a costume, especially if you want to like keep warm if it ends up being something that's in colder temperatures, but you don't want like, you want it to be in costume still, so you can sort of wrap your cape around yourself or something. There's been a few times where I've like created a costume and I think I'm gonna get cold, but I don't want to wear like you know, a modern jacket with my costume, so something like that would work out quite good. It's probably gonna, looks like a lot of materials involved in these, but that could be helpful for a bunch of costumes potentially. This one I just thought was beautiful, so I thought, yeah, that would be a lovely one to create and potentially put some beadwork and things on, so I love that one. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but my stomach is growling like crazy. I just said to my husband I was hungry already, and it's not lunchtime yet. So I was like, oh, alright, I'll film a whole video. That'll keep me occupied so that I don't eat lunch at like the crack of dawn. I am getting so hungry so easily at the moment. I don't know what's going on. This was another great one. This is like a jacket and very Evil Queen jacket, which I love. So that'll be fun to make, and I think it looks like it's got a few variations. So like you can do the long sleeves, you could do more of a structured. Actually no, I think the collar's the same, but like the sleeves are different. Looks like, and then this one has a bit of a capelet thing. So that will be fun. So I got those ones, and to get to the free shipping threshold, was why I got these threads, because it wasn't for anything in particular except that I use these types of threads quite often. So a few embroidery threads there that I thought would be very pretty. I have so many little bits and pieces to share. I don't even know where to start. I'm sorry. I've just like gone so crazy. But some of this is like birthday that I'm going to show you now. Actually, a whole bunch of what I'm about to show you is like birthday stuff. So I wasn't sure what I wanted for my birthday. I think I did mention I was tossing up whether I wanted one of those Cricut maker things. I didn't end up going for that one in the end. I think I was just unsure because of the fact that you had to pay a monthly fee for it and stuff. I still think it would be a useful tool and I could do some really interesting things with it, but I don't know if I'm going to drop the money on it yet because of that fee. If it wasn't for that, I think I would have saved up already and tried to buy one, but that puts me off, and they're so expensive as it is. So yeah, I don't know. So anyway, we went to a hobby shop and I thought, oh, well, I've been talking about, there's been some sculpting I've wanted to do, which will be one of the next projects I do. I've got a few things in the works that need to be done soon. But that's one that I do want to do soon-ish. So anyway, I got some things to help me with that. I wanted some like fake grass type things. So like we did my birthday present a little different, where I got to pick the stuff that I wanted. It was just a bit easier for Dan because then I can just pick exactly what I think will be helpful for me. So just got a bunch of different things to try out. And I don't know, I've been really curious about doing some realistic kind of moss on things, and I've always had a love of, rainforests and moss, and I grew up in New South Wales actually, and it was near, like, we were on a mountain and there was these rainforests behind it, and it was so beautiful, and I was always in love with the way it looked, and always wanted to live in a rainforest when I was growing up. It was my dream to do that, and I would say where we live is pretty damn close to that for Victoria, at least. I'd say in New South Wales there's some more tropical type climates you can find, but I love this area that we're in right now because it is very there's lots of ferns, it's a little bit kind of foresty and stuff like that, so I love that, and I want to bring some of that into some of my projects. So I got this like brown one so I can make some sort of more natural looking tones. So I think it's good to have a few different colours, because when I've seen it done, if you have it too flat, if you have just one colour, it just doesn't quite look real, and the more textures and colours variation you have in the greens and browns and stuff, the more it seems to look quite real. Whether I can get anything that looks real, I don't know, and look, these are ideas forming in my mind at this point, so I'm not sure exactly how they'll coalesce, but I'm being moved in these directions at the moment. I don't think there's anything else to show you in that box actually. The rest of this is stuff from the fibre optics that I bought and used in the fairy wings, which I love those things, and I have to say I am very tempted to get, they've got a new type of torch out now and all these different attachments to it, and I could do some fun things. I've got some ideas percolating, so I don't know, I might end up saving up and getting the new torch as well. So anyway, back to what I actually did buy. I bought this little cheap needle thing that's like a tambour needle. It's a type of beadwork where you're sort of plunging the needle through the material up and down to make these stitches, like almost like running stitches, I believe. I've not tried that type of work before, so I'm like talking through my ass right now because I don't know exactly how it's done. I've just sort of seen it done. I've been curious about it, and I thought, oh, I might get one of those needles so I can play around with it. But I think I also need a certain type of material for it, and I've got plenty of stretches because I was doing a bit of embroidery work for a fashion designer at one point. So while I was doing that, I like before I started doing that, I didn't have any of them, and I went nuts and bought all these different sized ones actually. So I've got a whole host of those. So that'll be good. And then you stretch your material, I believe, use the needle and thread or beadwork or whatever, and stitch by moving this needle from the top down through the material. So that's all I know, but I want to give that a go. And if I do, I may end up doing a video if it starts me in a direction and I think of some interesting things to show you guys, or I use it in a necklace maybe. Who knows what'll happen, but I thought I would get one of those. Now at the hobby shop I also did get this stuff, which is what's it called? Zip Kicker. I was going to say Zapagap. That's not right. Zip Kicker, which is a CA accelerator. So CA is not my friend right now. We're on a bit of a break. I was like watching all these Adam Savage videos. He was using CA glue in so much of what he does, his model making and all these other things. So I was like, oh, I must get myself some CA glue because I didn't have any on hand. Like, oh, that'll be really handy and I can do all sorts of things. And if you've seen that video of the wings, you know that it doesn't work for everything. You have to be careful. Some things will eat through other things, and unfortunately it happened before I realised that could be an issue and made some damage. Not irreversible damage. As you saw, by the end I managed to piece it together, but yeah. Learn from my mistakes. If, though, your project can take that glue, this actually accelerates the dry time and makes it kind of instant, which is really handy for a lot of things, especially if you're filming, because so often my projects take a long time to finish and get out to you guys because I'm waiting for like paint to dry or glue to dry, and you can accelerate things with like a heat gun to a certain extent, but sometimes that changes the way things dry or set or whatever as well, and you have to be careful about that. And yeah, sometimes I just want an instant hold, and at least I could use that with another glue if I want an even stronger glue, just to sort of tack it on and then finish it with like some other kind of glue. So I thought that would be handy, and you had to buy the pump separately, unfortunately, which was a pain, but I did that. And this is another Adam Savage inspired thing. Now he was using this, what's it called? Molotow, I think. Yeah, Molotow. He was using this, I think, in an airbrush, which I don't have an airbrush. I was looking at airbrushes and I was sort of tempted by airbrushes, but I wasn't entirely sure how much use I would get out of it. Like, I think I could potentially get a lot of use out of it, and when I was young, I wanted one so bad, because I'll have to, actually this is an idea, I started in fine arts and studied fine arts and everything, and I did a little bit of multimedia after that, but mostly fine arts. But even before I started studying, I was way into drawing and illustration and stuff like that. So I have a massive art folder of things that I've drawn over the years, and I was just thinking I should really share that with you guys, maybe in a live stream. I did film it once and I just never shared it with you guys because I was like, oh, you guys may not be interested in all of that, me rabbiting on about my artwork, and I think I just deleted it, honestly, but a live stream it could work. Anyway, what I was going to say is, because I did illustration and stuff, I wanted to get an airbrush for that reason. I haven't done illustration for so long because I just do so many other things that I don't put the time aside for doing that as well. And sometimes I do miss doing that. Like, it is quite nice to just sit and paint a picture or something like that. And maybe I will again at some point. I still do have some of my paints, and I got into pastels for a while. I really enjoyed those. Pastels on a canvas was a really nice thing. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent now, but so yeah, I was looking at airbrushes though, but I didn't get one. But anyway, you can get these in a pen form, this same chromey. This is apparently super chromey. Now, I have not tried this yet because this is sort of new stuff that I'm just showing you guys and yet to try in things, but chances are it won't be long before a project comes up where you see me pull this out, and we'll see how it goes. But they're meant to be very good, so I can't wait to give that a go. They had all different thicknesses of this too. I think I got 2mm. I believe I got 2mm, because I thought 1mm might be a bit too fine for what I would usually use it for. I probably want something a little bit thicker, and I thought it could be quite handy if you're wanting to really put detailed silver stuff in, because I obviously have like waxes and other stuff. So yeah, it'd be more for like detailed stuff, but there have been times where I've really wished I had something like that. And this is another little kind of gifty thing. So this I'm really looking forward to using, and have wanted one of these for a while. It's a wood burning kit. So wood burning is super fun. You can do all these different designs. It heats up enough that it will scorch wood, and then you can create designs by doing that. But also what I've seen recently, again, this is from watching Adam Savage, I'm so predictable. I've gone through a rabbit hole of his videos. I've probably watched 3/4 of what he has so far. And I can't remember who it was that he had on, but there was a maker that was making things out of foam and making helmets and decorating them and putting detail in, and he was saying you could use like a wood burner. I really want to get some of the foam as well. He was saying, you know, the cheaper way to get foam, because you can obviously buy, is it Eva foam? You know, for like cosplay stuff. And it's at a premium because they know that people who do craft and cosplay and all that pay the money. But then apparently the same type of foam is used for those like floor mats and stuff that, you know, jigsaw together. And we did try a few different hardware stores around, and everywhere was out of this foam. It was so frustrating because I was like, oh, I really want to use that. And I want to use some of it. I did mention decorating a wig in a live stream, how I want to sort of do a really cool decorating and make it sort of go up, you know, and I want to put like an insert in there, and I want to get some foam for that, but I can't get, I couldn't find this foam. So, I mean, I can get the cosplay stuff, so I might end up having to do that if I can't get cheaper stuff from somewhere else. So we'll see. I'm still on the hunt for that. Now, this is going to seem a little weird, and why? I think this was, God, I'm so predictable. I think this was Adam Savage again, and I can't remember what he was doing with it. think he was making some sort of box or something, because he does that often, and he had it on a Lazy Susan, and I was like, why don't I have a Lazy Susan in my studio? Because for sculpting and stuff, that would be so handy. And I went on eBay to try and see what they had as far as Lazy Susans, and the cheapest one I found was this. It's a mammoth bloody one, but it'll work. So, you know, it's a big industrial size one. Quite massive. What I figure though is, you know, I'm just going to put a piece of wood or whatever I end up using to work on. Probably just an offcut of like wood, I think, is probably going to be best. And then, you know, if I want a smooth surface to actually sculpt onto, I'm looking into either getting Perspex or glass. I'm not sure if you can fire the clay. I'm not sure if Perspex would melt if you put it in the oven to fire your clay. Some people say use glass or a tile. A tile might be okay. I'm just a bit worried about a sheet of glass in case it, you know, shattered or something. You'd want a nice thick piece to sculpt on, but so this will be so handy because then I can like move it around as I'm sculpting, and it's easy to move and sculpt. So I'm so stoked about this. Like, it doesn't seem like the type of thing to get super stoked about, but like I'm so stoked on that. Now, as well, with my birthday present, I have some really pretty fun things to play with. I wasn't sure what I wanted to get with for my birthday, and I ended up thinking, you know what, I'll get some things that I know I like, and I went to, what is it called, Craft Online? Yeah, craftonline.com.au, and they've got a whole bunch of like art alchemy stuff, and I love all the rubbing waxes, as you guys know. I love the paints and things they have. They have some really nice paints in the art alchemy range. And then there was a few other things as well, like I got some Nouveau stuff. Anyway, I'll start showing you. And this was interesting. This is Finnabair stuff. So, you know, with altered art stuff, which is an art style that really finds its way into a lot of projects I make, just naturally, I guess, because I like that organic, those organic shapes anyway, and so that type of style really suits what I do. And a lot of altered art makers use Finnabair stuff. Oh, Finnabair, I think that's how you say it. And I found this, which is interesting. I don't know exactly how this is gonna work out, but it's called Icing Paste, and I figure this is probably going to be like the paste that I put through, you know, my stencils, and it creates a bit of a three-dimensional effect. And this is in this beautiful like ruby red color, which you probably can't even tell through the packaging, but it let's see, is there any of it showing? It's just a really rich kind of red, so I thought that would be fun. I've used these a ton. I bought 3 of them at a craft show and had never used them before, but actually found that I really liked using them. I like how thick it is, and for some projects you just want that, you know, and it's a bit easier than trying to play around with separately glue and then glitter on top. It can be a little tricky, and then a lot of the other glitter glues you find are quite sparse in the glitter. So this is just different. It's thicker. It is actually meant for stencils, I think, but I don't usually use it that way, but you can apparently. I just like it as an accent on things if I want a real nice thick coating of glitter on something. And then I got some beautiful Art Alchemy like metallic paints, like this kind of indigo color. So pretty. What do they actually call it though? It's one of their metallic ones, Midnight Sky, and it does look like Midnight Sky. It's just glorious. This I haven't tried. This is a different. This is still Art Alchemy, but it's called Sparks, and it's seems like it's metallic, but it has like micro glitters in it. It just looks quite shimmery actually. And so I just got one. I thought I'll give it a try, see how I like it. I had all these other colours of it, and if it is something pretty special, then maybe I'll end up going and getting some others. But I thought I'll get those for now. I got a couple more of the rubbing waxes because, I mean, God, I use these all the time. And I just got some different colours. And the interesting thing is that this one is like an opal one. So this gives an opal sheen to things instead of a colour. So I love that idea because then you can add that sort of fairy or mermaid sheen to things. And then that one's just a red, like a burnt red colour. And I don't have a red one at the moment, so having a nice red colour would be good. This I'm just really curious about. Whether it's just going to be like a squeezy glue tube or something like that. Like it says it's a pen, glitter marker, like a watercolour glitter marker. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I thought, yeah, I need to try that. I need to see what that's about because, again, it could be something that's quite handy in certain projects. And if it turns out to be really good, I can get other colours down the track. So for things like that, I usually just get one, just give it a test run first and see how I like it. And then I got this 3-pack of Alchemy Colors. Let me try and get them out. They're a little bit cheaper when you buy them in these value packs. And, oh, that colour is so brilliant. Look at that. That's so gorgeous. I mean, that's a beautiful mermaidy colour. And then this lighter blue than the other one I had. And then a red as well. So they're going to be really fun for projects. It's the type of thing that often makes its way into stuff that I'm creating. So, you know, as fun little accents to things. So I thought I'm going to grab a bunch of them. Random thing, I did get a couple of little light sets. Now these are cute because they don't take, like they take the real small batteries, which I can't remember the name of them, but you know those like little watch battery size things, which I might actually need to buy some more of actually. I don't know if I've got any spares. These would be good if you wanted to really hide away where the battery is. Like say you wanted to, and this is what I'm thinking of using it for, like for headpieces, for example. You know, if you guys have seen my crystal headpiece that I created ages ago, I love that thing, but those battery packs, I had to, like they're big and they're hard to hide, so I had one sitting on my head there, one at the back of the head, and I covered them in moss and things and made them removable so that you could put the batteries in and out. But they're a bit of a pain really if you're doing a headpiece, whereas these are slimline and would fit into things. So I'll let you know how they go. I clearly haven't even taken them out of the package yet, so I don't know how long the battery life will be for it, for example, and all of that sort of jazz, but I'm hoping they work out, and they were really cheap. I just got them on eBay actually. I get a lot of things on eBay, if I'm honest. I don't use Amazon very often. Like our Amazon in Australia is pretty poxy for prices and things, but eBay you can find some decent things, which is good. Now this is a project for the future. If a ball happens in the future, this was something I was considering, you know, putting together, and I had some ideas about other things I would put together for it as well. Like I was at one stage thinking of going to the Costumers Ball in New Zealand, and if I did, I was thinking of going a very steampunk costume for that, and I got this pattern because I haven't really done steampunk as far as a costume, and I do a lot of steampunk jewellery. I thought, oh, that could be kind of fun to do a whole steampunk thing. I haven't got material for it or anything like that. It's just the pattern at this stage, but I love the look of that, so I am excited about that. I'm sorry guys, it keeps going. I'm going to try and race through this because, Yeah, I mean, I bought a lot of things, lots of little things. So it's like so many little things. And again, some of it's birthday and some of it's treating myself over some period of time. We got this. I mean, technically it's for both me and my husband to use, but I'm just going to keep... it's going to stay in my studio for now because chances are I'll probably use this more often than maybe he would. I used to use this a lot when I used to stretch my own canvases and stuff, which that was a really long time ago now, but it's great for that. But, you know, for just all sorts of other little projects, if I decide to do any upholstery stuff in a project, for example, or any of that, or even just attaching things could be handy because it's got different... This one takes different staples, so you can use heavy duty ones or smaller ones depending on your project. So that I think could be really handy. Now I mentioned with an Adam Savage video that I got like the wood burner, and I was thinking of like doing some stuff with foam. Another thing that they were using for foam to like glue pieces together was a contact adhesive. Now I think they use barge, which we don't seem to have in Australia, at least not in the hardware stores I've been into, maybe online. I don't know. But I figured hopefully this is similar. It's just like a contact cement. So nothing like super exciting, but very helpful. If I can finally get my hands on any of the thick foam that I want, that's the only thing. So we'll see. Wow, I've had this stuff here for so long. It's like, I'm like, oh yeah, that was ages ago, and I've been waiting to like do a video and share all of this stuff. And also been working on the wings, so I didn't have time to like play with any new bits and pieces. So this is like my birthday all over again. So I got some Rub and Buff. Yes, I'm gonna say it. Adam Savage. He was using the silver Rub and Buff, and it just looked extra chromy. And I like the idea of having the option to make something really look like chrome if you can. And then I got, you know, the golden and the bronzy. Oh, did I get bronze or did I get ebony? No, I got ebony, that's right, because I thought, oh, that's interesting. I don't know how that's going to look, but that could be kind of cool if you're doing a really dark coloured... I don't know if it'll be black or it'll be metallic, actually, to be fair. We'll see. I don't know. If it's metallic, that's going to be really cool. If it's black, it could still be helpful, but then I would probably do a thing where I'd use that first and then go in with a gold or silver so that you get black in like the crevices. So I'm not sure actually. I bought it with the thought it was metallic, but I don't actually know until I use it. Again with the chrome, I don't know why I was obsessed with making things chrome. I don't even know exactly what I want to make chrome at this point, if I'm absolutely honest, but I was like, I need all the chrome things. And I did get a silver, which I showed last time, and I also got a gold. So now I have a gold. Got more of the Hercules thread because I nearly used all of it for those wings amazingly, and I thought this has been really handy because I've used it in this and I used it in the book project that I did as well, and apparently it's good for beadwork, which I have not even tried it for yet. I've used it for all these other things, but I thought, you know what, I'm using this for so many things and it's affordable and it's helpful, so let me get another one because I don't want to run out and then go, damn it, I wish I had some more of that stuff. Because the worst is when you're halfway through a project, you're so inspired and you run out of a thing and then you are paused on that project for weeks or whatever it is until you get that thing in. Nothing exciting, but just a couple of brushes, just cheapy ones for dry brushing. Very handy to have and good to have a few different sizes, so got those. So I did do an order, and I shared one of the things in a live stream, I think. I got like a freeform presser foot for my sewing machine. I think I got it from Hobby Sew. There was such a delay on that order though. I really wasn't too impressed by that, to be honest. Like, they didn't actually have the thing in stock and didn't tell me for a couple of weeks that it was going to be even more delayed. They were like, oh, by the way, we don't have it in stock. And I was like, and I'm pretty patient with orders. Like, it had been a couple of weeks, and then I was like, where is that? And then I got, notification that it was going to be even later, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm ready for you guys to cancel that now, because like what I could have done, and they had a sale at Spotlight, I could have like cancelled that, bought a bunch of stuff at Spotlight and got the thing I wanted through Spotlight, but they didn't cancel it like I asked, and then I waited another couple of weeks, and it was just, it wasn't great. But the stuff, I did get the stuff, so that's good, and they have a good range and stuff like that, but I'm hesitant to order again, because I don't want to order stuff that isn't actually in stock, and knowing that you won't know that it's not in stock for a couple of weeks either. I don't know. I wasn't so keen on that. But what I did get is the presser foot, which I can't wait to use. And they had some sale items, so I got, well, actually, I think I only bought that. These I thought could be handy. They're little like foam letters, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool, because you could stick them on a project or possibly use them like a stamp or something. I think these are stamps, yeah. Sort of foam stamps. Yeah, so you put them on an acrylic block, which I have got, and you stamp the letters, which, yeah, I mean, it's just handy to do on projects. I don't think I ordered these, but I got these, whatever these are. Transparent tiles. I don't know what these are, if I'm honest. Transparent tiles with little symbols on it. Does anyone know what you use these for? Because I actually have no clue, and I don't remember ordering this. Maybe they chucked it in because I was waiting so long. I don't know. So, got a little chalk wheel, because it looked like it would be more, precise than some of the other pencils and things I have. So, yeah. I got a couple of Cork Lights as well. I think, yeah, again, I'm going to need some of those little mini batteries. But these are obviously in the shape of a cork. This would have been really handy when I did my poison bottle video way back when, which I almost want to redo that one. I don't know. I feel like I could do some more interesting things with that potentially. And the lights ended up not working in that after a while, probably because I was shoving a cork on top of them. Whereas these are made for that very purpose. So I got a couple of those so that if I do want to, shove a couple of lights in bottles in the backdrop, then I can do that, or in the studio, or just for other reasons I can do that. So yeah, I think they're kind of cool. Now, someone mentioned these to me when I was making this neck corset here for my dragon, did you say Dragon Queen costume? I don't know. Yeah, Dragon Queen. It does have a little tiara thing. And they mentioned these little clips because, like, I was having so much trouble with the fabric because you weren't meant to pin it or anything. And so, working out how to get around that was challenging. And someone was saying, oh, you should use Eclipse. And I mean, I'm new to this whole sewing business, so I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I got some clips. So if I do work with that material again, which I have a fair bit left over, and have wanted to make like a bag out of or something like that, and I have clips to help me with that. So that's going to be really helpful. Oh yeah, so that's that presser foot, just in case anyone didn't watch the live stream. It just allows free-form sewing on your sewing machine, which I love the look of. You can do some really creative artistic things with. So yes, looking forward to that. And again, sewing wise, some little material weights. I only got 4 so far, like they're to put on your pattern so it doesn't fly away everywhere. And they just got a good amount of weight to them. And yeah, I thought that will help me next time I'm doing a project, hopefully. I think I probably have shown that, but I don't know, that was in there. I think that was from Spotlight when I bought a whole bunch of different greenery things that I'm going to be messing around with soon. And last thing I got a bunch of these Paik Paints. These are an acrylic paint, but they're acrylic that can be put onto fabric, and apparently they have some give in them so that, like, you know, if the material's bending and so forth, that it doesn't crack. It's like crack resistant. I don't know how this will go yet, but what my thought was is if, you know, I wanted to create a, I don't know, a bag and paint it out of leather, or if I wanted to paint some shoes for a costume, just, you know, anything that maybe has a bit of give in it and you want to be able to paint it. Now I need a tester. I can't say yet, like, that this stuff's marvellous, but I got a bunch of colours because, I mean, you know, it's good for fabric paint anyway, and like I use fabric paint in all sorts of things, so having it on hand, having some opaque colours, because I do have some of those metallic ones and dye and stuff that I use, but I don't have any like opaque fabric paints. So yeah, the thought was like you could use it for material that like moves, like, because I tried spray painting a pair of shoes for a costume, and within a day it was like all cracked and looking terrible. So I'm gonna try these and hope that I can do some fun things with them. My mouth is sore from talking. Oh my god, I had so much more little bits and pieces than I actually realised. These have been building up for quite some time, and added to it are some birthday things, so it's a lot. But it does mean some fun projects for you guys, so I hope you guys are looking forward to some things that will end up eventuating out of these crafty bits and pieces. I've got some fun things on the way. I've got such a list of things that I want to bring to you. I'm pretty pleased that soon, well, in a few months, I think I'll probably be getting some leave from work. Depends. It's still not fully confirmed, but I might be able to have some leave from work, which means that I might have even more time to do some amazing projects, which I'm super keen to do. So I'm going to leave it there because this is long enough. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found something in there that you thought was interesting or worth checking out. Stay tuned for me trying them out. If you want me to, like, I don't know, review any of this stuff and talk about it, because I don't really do that very often, but I totally can. Once I start playing with some of this stuff, yeah, if you want to hear about how I went with it, let me know, because that could be helpful. Subscribe if you want to see some of the creative baloney that comes out of all this cacophony of craft explosion. And for the rest of you, I'll see you next time in Faewood. Bye, guys.